I think we're live. I think we need to start the opening. Five, four, three, two, one. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? It's another Thursday. You know what that means? DD Live Weekly. I'll be your host, Dirk Diggler. How are you guys doing? When I did that first episode, I told myself I was going to come up with like a funny movie name, and I never stuck to it for some reason. Damn it! And now I have regrets. Son of a bitch. I was literally just listening to some Kiss. Can you see the vinyl back there? Hold on, let me see. I got a vinyl back there. You can't really see. Yeah, there it is. If I move my head this way, then boom, there it is. You know what? I need to shine a light on that vinyl. Let me do that. Hold on just a second. I'm gonna shine a light on that vinyl. We got 2 hours, guys, okay? No rush. Get your drink ready. It's gonna get crazy. We're going to be home chicken slicksters. I don't even know what that means. Hold on. Let's see. So if we shine a light right there, yeah, maybe that'll work. Maybe I should put a VHS right there. Here we go. Hold on. VHS. Here we go. And then put that there. There we go. Much better. Much better. How's everybody doing tonight? You guys doing good? I got some stuff planned. That doesn't mean I'm prepared. That doesn't mean I'm professional. But I got some stuff planned. I'm going to do my best. Try to keep you guys entertained. I see some of my nice patrons in the chat. I see some of my beautiful subscribers in there. I saw earlier somebody said this was their first Drumdums live stream, which is cool. Yeah, I can see it now. It's all lit up back there. I just bought that last week. I told my wife, I was like, I want to buy Dynasty on vinyl. And she was like, why are you telling me? And I said, I need to tell somebody because people need to know. They need to know that the Dynasty on vinyl is out there waiting for you. It's a beautiful, beautiful album. You know what? I'll give you a little music nugget right now, okay? First, let me say hello. Let me open my freaking monster. Hold on. How are you guys doing today? Demonic Trinity. Joshua Frosto. What's up, Joshua? Jason Nike. Hell yeah. What's up, Jason? Jason, I got to go back and I got to watch your Facebook thing. I missed it. Wade Fox, what's up, man? Fuck off, Wade. Brett Stewart, Kevin Wrightson. What's your favorite Kiss album? Right now, it's Dynasty, but I will say probably Creatures of the Night. Creatures of the Night and Lick It Up are probably my two current favorites. And those have been my favorites for years. I just love, and it just so happens that's kind of the Vinnie Vincent era. Even though Vinnie Vincent, he had a major part in those albums, especially Lick It Up. But there was like 5 contributing guitarists on Creatures of the Night, from what I hear. So, as a matter of fact, Dynasty back there, Peter Criss did not play drums on that album. That was Anton Fig, who played on Ace Frehley's solo album. I mean, I can get way deep into Kiss, guys. Don't do this to me, all right? I can talk Kiss. I was a Kiss fanatic, you know? When I first joined the military, a buddy of mine, I still remember his name, Tony Asnar. He was the first guy I got into a band together with. It was really just me and him. I was playing drums. He was playing guitar. We were both horrible. And all we played was Kiss covers. And he's the one that really, really got me into Kiss. And I was into like 80s Kiss before I met him in the 80s. And then when I met him, he really introduced me to a lot of the 70s, the deep track stuff like Going Blind, Parasite. A lot of songs that you don't hear on the radio. You know, Rock and Roll All Night's pretty much the average song that most people hear from Kiss that are just, you know, Kiss casual listeners. But yeah, I dove knee deep into Kiss for a while there. They're just they got a lot of great stuff on there. And one thing that always bugged me was how people said that they weren't talented, like they weren't good musicians. You can compare Kiss to any 70s classic rock band, and it's pretty much the same stuff, you know? And at the end of the day, a catchy song is a catchy song. It doesn't matter how hard the song is to play. Nirvana is living proof. I mean, ask like Jerry Cantrell from Alice in Chains. He literally said Kurt Cobain is a horrible guitar player, but he happens to write amazing songs. And that's what it comes down to. And if you look back at Kiss's catalog of music, I mean, they have so many great songs out there, you know? And one thing I always loved about Kiss was, especially in times like this, their music was always fun. Their focus was always, let's bring fun to the people. Sure, they have a couple ballads here and there, but for the most part, they were about, you know what, just let's have fun. And you know, in times like these, we need fun, guys, okay? We really do. We need to be able to take a step back and just release a little bit, you know? Because there's crazy stuff going on out there right now. As a matter of fact, when I put out my that top 50 I did today, a lot of great comments in there. A lot of people there were a lot of people sharing their own top 50s. That takes a lot to write out, and I made sure I went in there and I tried to respond to everyone. Damn, that's awesome that you actually typed out your entire top 50. It's cool. But there was one. My voice cracked. You got to drink every time my voice cracks. But there was one guy in there, and I'm not knocking him at all. You know, everybody has a different opinion. But he literally said, you should not be making videos right now. This is not the time to make videos. And I took a step back. I took a step back to really think about what he said, because everybody's so knee-jerk with their reactions now. Everybody's on one side. It's like you have to pick a side, right? If you don't pick a side, then your opinion doesn't matter. And I hate that. I hate that we have to pick the right side or pick the left side. Pick your own side. Have your own opinion. And my base of my response to him was, more than ever, we need to be able to create content like this that gives people a release. And as a matter of fact, I've had people from all different races, all different genders, personally reach out to me and DM me and say, hey, thank you so much for what you're doing right now, because, you know, I'm in a horrible situation right now. I'm having, you know, these hard times in my life, and your content and other creators' content, it's just giving me a release. That's what it is. It's a release. So I disagreed with him. I really did. I think, especially in times like this, we have to have Kiss. We got to have Kiss, right? See how I brought it back full circle? Hell yeah. And no, Brett, I definitely, I don't plan on stopping. I mean, if you stop because the world is in a bad place, then that means you're giving up. You know, that means that you're letting the negativity win. And you know what? I try to find the good in any situation that's going on. I try to find the light. And I think it's so tragic what happened to George Floyd, you know? And I literally try to say his name out loud to myself at least a few times a day, because I don't ever want the guy to be not remembered. You know, it's a tragic thing. I watched the video once, and I felt so angry, and I felt sad. And this was a human being. I wasn't looking at him like a white man or a black man or an Asian or anything. I was looking at him as a human being who had a knee on his neck, and he died on camera right there in front of everybody. And it was horrible. It was horrible. It was an atrocious thing that happened. And so it's easy in right after something like that happens to be angry. That is the natural reaction to something like that, especially immediately after. Everybody's going to be angry. And then you see like what happened today, where you had a ceremony for George Floyd, and they were remembering him, and they had Al Sharpton was doing like a ceremony for him, but it was beautiful, and everybody took the time to take a minute and just remember the guy, and and I think that was a good thing, and I feel like people are trying to get back and find the good in things, because I think hopefully the anger will start dissipating a little bit. Like I even saw like videos of like cops, and they were like this one cop. He was standing in front of this crowd of protesters, and he literally put down his gun, put down his weapons, and said, "Hey, I'm on your side. I don't want this. There are bad cops out there. I'm not that guy. My brother here is not that guy. We have so many people that are risking their lives every day protecting people, protecting you. And they're good people. I mean, and there was this one guy, he said, I've never hurt a person in my life. I go into work every day trying to help people. Yes, there are bad cops in this world. Absolutely, there are bad cops in this world. Don't get me wrong. There's bad cops. There's bad people in every profession, okay? There's bad people probably in the military. There's bad people working at McDonald's. That's the nature of the world that we live in today. There are going to be people that take advantage of others. There are going to be people that they make wrong choices, and I'll even say, and I'm not referring to the guy I don't know the guy that killed George Floyd, okay? So I can't speak for who that guy was as a person. All I can say is that good people make horrible decisions sometimes, and I'm sure that guy's probably going to regret that for the rest of his life. And if he doesn't, then that's even sadder. So, Kiss! Look what I just did. I went down like a rabbit hole there. I apologize. It got dark. But I got some funny stuff. Remember last week when we were doing we did my top 10 Halloween scenes, and I showed you like some Halloween funnies, and I liked that. It was kind of fun. So I actually got some alien funnies to show you guys today. And Haley, thank you so much. That was very nice. Lost Boy Bayous, I think. Yeah, he left one too. Thank you. Support DD. I'm a black man myself. Haha. Yeah. And like I said, it's funny. Like that comment right below him was Tila, who is a female black person, and she's like a friend. She comments on a lot of my stuff, and she was more than everybody needs a release. Black people need a release from this. White people need a release from this. We're all the human race, We all need a release from all this stuff that's going on. And as long as you guys want it, I'll keep giving it. All right? That's what it's about. And it also made me think of like, I'll use horror as an example. In times like this, horror is always there. Horror is always it always has our back. We can always turn to horror to take our minds off things. Even when you're in a good point in your life, when you're in a bad point in your life, I always have my horror collection. I always have my horror friends to talk to. It's the most giving community that I've ever been a part of, and it's the gift that keeps on giving. It's just such a cool thing. I mean, look, I can sit here and I can talk with 53 of you people right now, and I couldn't do this before I started YouTube. It's really, really awesome. So, you guys are amazing. Chris, what's up, man? Chris, I like his name, Flamethrower Fluff Salisbury. Man, Chris, I hope we get another Spooky Empire, brother. JG Michael, Maybe we should make sure bad cops aren't serving in uniform. No offense, just my take. No, I agree. I completely agree. I think we need to weed out those people. And I saw those mugshots today. Of the 4 cops. The one guy that killed the guy, but then you got the 3 guys, literally 3 cops standing next to the guy. Not one of them said, "What are you doing?" Like, I can't imagine me, you, anybody being there standing next to that guy. If we're a cop, we're in uniform. All those bystanders, of course, they were afraid because these are guys, they're armed, But, you have your coworker standing right next to you, and not one of the 3 stepped in to say, "Hey, take your fucking knee off of his neck." Not one of them did. So I'm right there with you, JG. Right there with you, man. Brett Stewart, what's up, brother? Fact Monster, Conrad 07, Joshua Frosto, Chase Moser, Tom Ungren, Holly Klein. Holly, how are you doing today? I got a Blake Garner posted something in the mod chat, and it was so funny. I stole it, and so I'm gonna post it on here. Billy Bob, thank you, appreciate it. Eclipsed, what's up? Mizzy, John Ingold, what's up, John? Yeah, a lot of good people. All right, so let's go over to the funnies. All right, I'm going to take you guys over to the funnies. And one more thing I wanted to do for this. Everybody always does AMAs, ask me anything. I want to ask you stuff, all right? Because, I don't know, I don't think anybody ever does that. And I think I would like to know more about you guys. So I get to ask you anything, okay? So what I'll do is I'll tee you guys up. I'll give you a question, and you can type out your answer, and I'll read a few of them. I think that could be kind of fun. And if at the end of this, if you guys want to ask me questions, that's fine too. All right. Let me go over here. Okay. First funny coming up. This is going to be alien related. Okay. Go ahead. Tell them they're illegal. I wouldn't go near them if even I know that those are guys in uniform. I still, like, when I go to Spooky Empire, when I see the guy dressed in the xenomorph outfit, I stay the fuck away. I don't even go near the guy. That's how scary the xenomorph outfit is. It's really creepy. Okay, next one. This isn't alien related, but I was looking at 9gag. It's one of the apps that I look at, 9gag, and they have like funnies on there. And this was actually at the protest, and this girl, she's screaming at a horse, and the horse is like, "Lady, I'm just a fucking horse. Why are you yelling at me? Holy shit!" Oh, that's great. But she looks really pissed too. And I like how they put her with that. What do you call that meme where you got the one girl screaming, and then the other guy's like, "I don't care." That's the horse. The horse is like, "I don't give a shit." Okay, next one. This is one I posted on Killer Flicks, actually. LV 426 Hide and Seek Champion of the year 2179. They mostly come out at night. Mostly. If you watch the alien behind the scenes for Aliens, they were stationed at Lakenheath. She was a military brat. Her father was in the Air Force, and so she ended up getting the gig. It was between her and one other young actress or child, and she ended up getting the part. I can't remember her name. She played Newt, but yeah, she ended up getting the part, which was kind of cool. But you know what? I didn't think. Did you think, like, there was some, it's hard getting a good performance out of kids. I thought Newt's performance was kind of spotty. Ronnie Den, what's up, man? Favorite death of Michael Myers? Now, you talking about death of the character? Yeah, the go-to answer is when Laurie chops off his head in H2O. But I'm going to be honest, that broke my heart. When I saw that in the theater, I was, I was gutted. Like, that's my boy, and you just chopped my boy's head off, and I was kind of mad. I was kind of pissed when I got up. So, yeah, so I'm trying to think of what's a better answer. What's a better answer for his death? Let's break it down. Let me go back over here real quick. Hold on. I'll go back to more funny. Let me break it down. Let's break it down. All right. Halloween 1. Well, he didn't die. He fell off the balcony, and he did like one of those flip ups, and then he ran off. Actually, he didn't do that, but that would have been funny. That's in one of the funny videos I saw. Halloween 2. I think so far Halloween 2's in the lead because it's the only death so far. That's a good one. You know, that's a great, glorious death. Loomis lighting the match, explodes, and then Michael walking slowly down. I mean, visually, everything. I mean, they're firing on all cylinders with that one, so that's going to be tough to beat. He's not in 3. 4, he gets shot down the mine shaft. It's okay, but no, still 2. 5. He gets a beat down with 2x4 by Loomis. Nah, not really. And then he ends up in jail, and he's just like, you got Myers just like sitting there on a bench in jail, which is weird. So that's not a good one. 6 is a contender. 6 is definitely a contender. You got Tommy Doyle, Paul Rudd. Look, get me a doctor now. And he takes the pipe and he beats the crap out of him. 6 is a good one. I still think 2 beats it though, but 6 does have a really good Myers death. What's next? H2O. Yeah, I said H2O. Halloween Resurrection. Trick or treat, motherfucker. No. Nuh-uh. No. Hell no. I like that they had the fire in there. That was kind of cool. But, nah, it just didn't work out. So then we had Rob Zombie's Halloween. That's a pretty good one, actually. You know, you got freaking Laurie straddled over Myers' torso, and she shoots him in the face. That's vicious. That's a damn good one. And then Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. As much as I love Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, I don't think the kill in either cut was that great. I mean, in the theatrical cut, you got Laurie just stabbing him with this freaking Rambo knife that's like... Did you guys see the size of that knife? It's massive. Like, I wonder... Like, how did they get to that knife? You know? Because, I mean, it's a slasher movie. So, how did Rob Zombie get to the point where he's like, we got to have a knife that's like... freaking 18 inches long, because that, I mean, it was a freaking massive knife. And then in the director's cut, he just die, and then they shoot him. So yeah, there's your answer. Oh yeah, we still got Halloween 2018. How did he die in 2018? Pretty much, and I'll give Drewski McGillicuddy cut on this. Drewski McGillicuddy was saying this from the beginning. When he saw Halloween 2018, he was like, why is the kill so similar to Halloween 2? Why not come up with something different? So I think in Halloween 2018, I think that's where they struggled in the writer's room is, you know, and endings are hard. Endings are always hard. And I think that's what happened. They just could not figure out the best ending for the movie. So they threw the dollars in there and they gave us the visually stimulating fire ending. But yeah, I mean, it still doesn't compare to Halloween 2. I've been in a major Halloween 2 mood lately, actually, for some reason. I do this with the franchise, though. You know, with certain movies, like I was in a Halloween 5 mood last month. But yeah, lately it's Halloween 2. I've really been in a Halloween 2 mood. I don't know why. Sir Drop Bear, Lee, if you could make a Halloween movie, what kind of story and setting would you go for? Jesus. Whew. Boy, that's the question right there, isn't it? Well, I will tell you a dream I had when I was having my Myers nightmares. Hold on just a sec. I used to have these Myers nightmares all the time. It was for years after I saw Halloween 4. For some reason, I would just constantly just have these nightmares. And I literally wake up in a pool of sweat. And so, Ronnie Den, I'll get to your question. Thank you. So I used to have this nightmare, and I swear I had this like multiple times for some reason, where I'm at like a carnival, and for some reason Jamie Lloyd is in the nightmare, and I'm trying to protect Jamie Lloyd, and then Myers is coming after us, and I visually I even remember it's like very like burnt sienna, like earth tone, brownish, I guess you could say, in tone. Whereas Halloween's usually like a blue type background, but for some reason in my dream it's brown. I don't know why. But yeah, Myers is like chasing us, and I'm scared shitless. So maybe if I made my own story, just to remember that, I'd put a fairground in the movie somehow, and I'd have Myers end up at the fairground, because if you think about it, in terms of stalking, it's like a playground for Myers, right? I mean, he could bounce all over the place. It'd be kind of cool. So, and I guess I build my story around that, somehow. I definitely liked what they were doing with the Halloween Returns script, the Marcus Dunstan, because they had something similar to like that. They had this pumpkin festival in the script, and it was a pretty exciting section of the script, actually. I mean, you could really visualize everything. There are pumpkins all around, and Myers was in like this cornfield. I think it was a cornfield, something like that, but it was really cool. Hey, Peter, how you doing, man? Let me go back up here and read this question. I got a couple more funnies for you guys, too. Hold on, okay? We're going to get to Alien, don't worry. Ronnie Den, here we go. Thoughts on Alien vs. Predator 2004 being cut down to PG-13 instead of going the R-rated route? Do you think you'd enjoy it more with blood and guts? Well, they did an unrated cut, but I wonder if that's the actual, and you might know this, but because a lot of times when we see unrated cut, we take it as that's the director's cut, and it might not be the director's cut. It probably isn't. But I think I did catch that unrated cut, and I think there's like a couple of scenes where they had some like CGI blood splatter, which is not satisfying at all. That's one thing that turned me off about AVP to begin with, is I think when, and I can forgive a PG-13 rating. There's some fun moments in the movie, but for me, Alien, it needs to be R, especially if you have human characters in the movie. And I think what they were doing is they were banking on most of the fighting was going to be between the creatures, and creature blood is green, so you can show green blood all day in a PG-13 movie, and it's not a big deal at all. But in a rated R movie, you can show like human blood, red blood. It's weird how the color of the blood can dictate the rating of the movie. So, hello, Erica. Me and Erica had a nice little conversation today. We were talking about my top 50, and she brought to my attention that there were some other movies that were definitely worthy, especially like sequels, to be on that list. And I did mention like Psycho 2. Psycho 2 was one that I almost put on the list, actually, because I think Psycho 2 is one of the best sequels out there. It's really good. It's really effective, actually. So that was a fun little conversation. Yeah, Peter said he read the Halloween Returns script. Thank you, Joshua. I appreciate that, man. Okay. Now let me show you guys a couple more funnies, okay? Oh, and who all got the Jaws 4K Lenticular? Because I was looking for it on Amazon, and it's not available on Amazon for some reason. I don't know if that's if it was available on Amazon, but I think it's available on Best Buy, but for some reason not on Amazon. I don't know. It's weird. Ronnie Dan, he says it was heavily CGI added blood effects. Not exactly official, but it was nice that they went back to try to add blood, I guess. Love your channel. Thanks so much, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, and I don't hate AVP. I definitely don't. Now here, you want me to throw a hand grenade at you guys? Because I know you guys are going to throw pickles at me here in just a sec, okay? I prefer Requiem over AVP. I'm going to duck. I don't see any tomatoes, so maybe there's a couple of you in there that actually prefer Requiem over AVP. But yeah, I do. I actually, as dark as the freaking movie is, and I hate how freaking dark that movie is. I literally was thinking about making my own cut of Requiem just to brighten the damn thing up. You know, I was gonna go in, put it in my Adobe Premiere Elements, which is what I use to edit, and I was gonna just try to boost it. You know, boost the what's the word I'm looking? Oh, exposure. Yeah, one thing I've learned, is boost your exposure, kick up your contrast a little bit. Although that movie's got way too much contrast anyway, so you don't really need to do that. But that's one thing I've learned through video editing. As a matter of fact, when I edit my own videos, if I showed you what the video looked like before I finished with it, you'd be like, wow, it's like night and day. Because when I put my video files in my computer, I go into my effects, my picture adjustments, and I adjust the exposure, I adjust the brightness, I kick up the contrast just a little bit, I add like 10% sharpening on it. I have a whole system that I do to try to make the image look give it a little bit more depth. So I've always been into like color grading and stuff like that. Just little things I've been learning along. I'm no expert by any means, but if you guys are new to YouTube and you're trying to make get the best bang for your buck out of your camera, there are After Effects that you can do to make your image look crisper. And that's kind of what I do. That's not what I get out of the camera. That's post-production, I guess you could say. Okay, couple more funnies for you. I lost track here, sorry. But that's how we do it. It's just, we take our time. Okay, here we go. All right, so I like this one, and we're going to be talking about Covenant and Prometheus. He has his father's smile. Isn't that sweet? It's nice. Okay, next one. One thing I hate about live streaming is the delay. I think there's like a 20 to 30 second delay. Like, it just popped up right now for you guys. All right, but I'm going to go to the next one. Okay, I'm going to close it off. This was Blake Garner. Got to give him a shout out. Right before I did this, I went over to the mod chat. The Killer Flicks mods, we chat with each other just about every day. And, just about nothing. About life, whatever. And Blake Garner, he had that in there. And I guess in honor, because I made Thing my number one for my top 50 horror movies of all time. And that is great. There's something about Mary. Look at that face. At first, I'm not gonna lie, the giraffe neck thing right there, I thought it was a penis. Uh-oh, Levi's moaning. Okay, hold on. Okay, we got one more here. Couple more. So yeah, John Hurt went to the doctor. Doctor said, well, there's your problem. He had a giant fucking parasite on his face. So that'll do it. Isn't Alien genius? Like the story of Alien. Dan O'Bannon, you freaking genius. To come up with this story where, there's a whole process to the creation of the creature, and you have to do A to B to C to get to D or Z or whatever. And it's just so cool how Dan O'Bannon came up with all this. I guess the gestation, the parasite. It's like, what comes first, the parasite or the xenomorph? The parasite, of course. But yeah, it's just, the parasite's a creepy looking thing too, and we haven't even gotten to the xenomorph yet. But can you imagine that? Like, I always got scared of those damn parasites. Like, remember the scene in Aliens There's a couple scenes in the franchise where the parasites get loose, but that scene, I think the best one is the scene in Aliens where Newt and Ripley, they're in that room, and Burke let the freaking Burke, that asshole, he let the freaking parasite loose. And so I don't know why, but I was freaking out during that scene. Like, oh my God, please don't let this thing get them. You know, it was pretty damn scary. It was crazy. Horton Coffee says we need a sequel to Alien Covenant. End it and connect it to the... And I'm going to talk about that too. I completely agree. And I saw a couple of comments on Instagram when I posted, I did my little advertising for this. And there were a couple comments on there saying, we don't want another movie, just end it already. We need original content. And you know what? There's original content's out there. You guys just have to go watch it. But there's original content out there. There are fans of franchises. There are Star Wars fans. There are Halloween fans. There are Alien fans. And you know what? We want more content. You know, I want to know more about this world. And Horton Coffee just brought up a great point. We want that gap to be bridged. You know, I've really been waiting for the movie that links Alien Covenant up to Alien, and it makes me wonder, like, would they have a CGI Ripley? Would they even show Ripley in the movie? I don't know, but there's a lot of possibilities. You know, a lot of possibilities. All right, I got more funnies. Hold on. Next funny. Okay, next funny. It's kind of nice. We do a funny, we laugh at it, and then we talk about it. Okay? Okay, all right. Next one. This one's, I like this one. I like this one. It made me think of 50 Shades of Grey. I have a pleasure room. Do you want to see it? And I've seen a lot of these for, the horror fan one. Where, what's that? Oh, okay, because I clicked over there. Yeah, there's the pleasure room for a horror fan is pretty much what you see behind me. Like, if I go back over here, yeah, my pleasure room, it's all back there. There's my pleasure room. I got my freaking Sean, my buddy Sean that sent me that freaking head, Sean Michael Cadillac, the H4 wrap. Then I got Amongst Dead Things, sent me the H18 custom back there. Yeah, that's my toys. You know, Dave Vanderhoff, his Halloween 5 mask. You guys have helped me build my pleasure room. So I'm looking at my pleasure VHSs right now. Yeah. All right, let me go to the next one. I got more funnies, okay? And also, here, I guess I'll go ahead and throw a question to you guys, all right? Do you have a pleasure room? Do you have a shrine of horror in your house? You know, is it big? Is it small? That's what she said. Do you have figures? Do you have, or do you just like collect the movies? Give me some detail. Let me know. Type it out, okay? I want to read your comments. I want to hear about your horror shrines, and I want to know what your most prized horror possession is. It doesn't even have to be horror if you don't want it. I mean, if you got like something from Star Wars that you love, let me know. That's cool. Bulletproof says, Bulletproof 151. I'm going to read this comment up here. Hold on. Says, I know I can't be here for too long, but I just wanted to say that your work means a lot to me. When I have a bad day and I need something to cheer me up, you really help me. Thank you. Bulletproof, you just proved my point. I don't know if you were here at the beginning of the stream, but I was literally just talking about that. You know, how we all are here for each other, you know, and I don't know, I hate freaking, it makes me feel weird when you guys tell me that, because it's just the sweetest thing in the world. But I enjoy it. I do. I enjoy like making content. I can't wait to get in here and just, yeah. Jason Mongold says, my safe word is Loomis. That is my safe word, actually. It really is. Okay, so, yeah, Horton Coffee. I have a workstation with figures, lightsabers, and ships. The lightsabers. Love my lightsabers. I don't think I have a lightsaber, actually. Like I don't have a real, like I'd love to have like a real lightsaber, and I've heard that they can actually make, like they're almost at the point where they can make a lightsaber now. Um, but Bulletproof, thank you so much, man. That was a nice comment. I appreciate that. Tom Ungren says there's a horror documentary on Tubi called Red, Blue, and White, or something like that, and it's from '09, but it's a really good watch. Okay, Red, Blue, and White. What's it about? Jesus, Levi. Man. Beth says no special place for all my collections, but hopefully I will have a room someday. As far as best horror heirloom, it's got to be my OG Shining and Halloween vinyl. Yeah, and she just showed me that the newest Halloween vinyl she got. Really, really cool. Taffer says, I love the Funko mystery minis. I had a large collection of those at my office at work, and people would stop by and look at them. It was a mixture of sci-fi and horror. I got something I can show you guys that's like 10 years old, actually. And it's, I'll show it to you. I have like a goth troll, okay? And he used to scream if I push the button. Hold on. Yeah, here's my little goth troll. And I don't know, he kind of means something to me. Like I said, I've had him. I got him when I was stationed in Japan, actually. So that would have been back in 07, 08 time frame. So yeah, this sucker's like 13 years old. And let me see if he, let me see, hold on. Man, I wish he freaking, yeah, I used to push this little button on him and he would scream. He would go, ah. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be too loud in my house, but yeah, he would let off this loud scream, and it was hilarious. But yeah, he's kind of my little good luck charm, my little goth troll. So, I wonder if I'm gonna put him right here on my laptop. I wish there was a way I could. He's looking at you guys. Yeah, I need like a cup so I could put him right there. So the whole stream, he could be right here. So that way, if I step away, he could watch you guys and monitor. And if you guys get out of line, he'd be in your face, saying, "Knock it off." So, Chris says my prized horror item is a Nightmare on Elm Street 3 movie poster signed by Robert Englund. Oh, that's badass. My buddy Matt actually sent me this Halloween 2018 picture signed by Nick Castle. I'm looking at it right now, actually. Matter of fact, let me see. I'll take this. I'll show you guys it real quick. This is cool. Let me see. Yeah, there it is. There's Nick Castle's signature right there. Yeah, really cool. It's beautiful, though. Let me see. I'm going to read some more here. My freaking dog. I swear to God, Levi. Jesus. He's guys, get you a drink real quick. Give me 2 minutes, okay? 2 minutes. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. Levi gets testy. Okay. So let me go back up here. I want to read some more of your stuff you got. Yeah, so Horror and Coffee says he's got a signed Nick Castle photo. Yeah, Nick seems like a really cool guy. I wish I got to meet him in person. But, so, Wade Fox says, Brett, that's so cool. So now I got to scroll up and see what Brett's got. Damn it. But I can't find Brett. Oh, yeah, Brett says, I have a replica WWE Heavyweight Championship title, too. Damn, that's cool. I used to be into wrestling in the 80s when Hulk Hogan was really big. Who were some of the other? Now, I'm really showing my age here, but yeah, it was like Hulk Hogan. I don't know if you guys remember like Junkyard Dog, Tony Atlas, Ted DiBiase, guys like that. I was really into wrestling back then. And I went to a wrestling event. Now, I don't think it was anybody, like Hulk Hogan especially wasn't there, but they had some, I'm trying to think of who it was though. I can't remember who it was. Macho Man Randy Savage. Yeah, he was a big one. Yeah. All right. Luke Myers, what's up, man? Okay. Awesome Cool Guy. My Halloween 1978 DVD is my most prized possession because it's one of the greatest films ever, even. Ooh. Speaking of Halloween 1978 DVD, let me show you guys something real quick. They made 30,000 of these. So, this is the 2-disc limited edition that's got the lenticular cover. You can see Myers and the pumpkin if you move it. I got this. I remember I ordered it on Amazon like right when it came out. I believe it came out in 2000, something like that. Yeah, Jake the Snake was another one, Beth. I remember Jake the Snake. There was a documentary about Jake the Snake recently, actually, which is cool. But if you have this 2-disc set, it has the TV version. Now, they did release a separate version with just the TV version a couple years later, which I think that's out of print now. But let's see, how can you get the TV version of Halloween now? I don't even think it's available on Blu-ray, the TV version. But yeah, here's the TV version. Let me show you guys. Yeah. That's the TV. It says TV version. Yeah. And it's got this nice booklet here. But one reason why you want to get this version too, if you're into like color timing, there's been a few different releases of Halloween with different color timing. The Blu-ray is decent. The Anchor Bay Blu-ray. And then Anchor Bay did the 35th anniversary one where Dean Cundy came in and he took out pretty much all of the sunlight and gave it more of a fall vibe. But I think he pumped up the marine greens a little bit too much. So that's not my favorite transfer. But the best color timing one that has like the perfect balance of everything, and especially the night scenes, you will get the most pumped up blue contrast in this version right here. And you can get the DVD that doesn't have the TV version. You can probably find it, but I love this version. And sometimes I'll throw in this DVD version because I want that color timing to look, like I want. I want it to have those pumped up blues, and this one has the best. But this one's got Halloween Unmasked 2000. So this is a 30-minute documentary that came out in 2000, and I believe Matt Pinfield narrated it, who used to do like 120 minutes on MTV. And it even had these cards. We got a nice little thing of show and tell going here. So yeah, it had this card here with Carpenter directing, PJ Souls and Bob. And I like this one. This is not a picture you see that often. Yeah, it's kind of a strange look at the Myers mask because it's got that shadow across it. But yeah, but it had and then of course it came with the regular theatrical poster. But these are just cards, like postcards that it came with. And this has the television version chapters on the back, and then the regular. So, I mean, it's a nice... They only made 30,000 of these, but it's really cool. Entertainment Wizard, is it in the Scream Factory set, except they basically just inserted the TV scenes in the theatrical version? That's pretty much what the television version is. It is the theatrical version, and they, pretty much, because the television version, the real television version, would have like any of the cussing or nudity taken out of it. And I don't think that's what the television version is on the DVD. I think it, like he said, I think it's just the theatrical version, and they add those 12 minutes in. To me, and here's another question for you guys. Do you like the television version of Halloween, or even Halloween 2? Because there is a television version of Halloween 2. Or do you think they kind of just get in the way? For me, it's cool to... I look at those scenes in the television version of Halloween 1 like deleted scenes. You know, I'll go and look at those separately from watching the movie. But when I'm watching the movie, I have to watch the theatrical version. Because for some reason, those scenes kind of get in the way. Especially there's that one scene where you see Laurie with her towel over her head, because Jamie Lee Curtis's hair was short at the time. And they were in the middle of filming Halloween 2, I think. And so the scene just feels kind of out of place, you know? Lee, you need a Jigsaw doll in your room. I have a Jigsaw Funko, but I'm not the biggest like Jigsaw fan. I love the first Saw movie. That's a great movie, but as far as the franchise goes, I'm just not the biggest fan. Mizzy says, I know to definitely bring some money. Sure, autographs goes for like $40 to $50 depending on who it is, and I guess, but I've seen some on YouTube. Definitely want to go one day. Yeah, if you go to a horror convention, pull out some cash. You're going to need cash, because more than likely you're going to spend anywhere from $30 to $60, maybe even $80 for an autograph. And usually how they'll get you is if you want to get like a combo where you get the autograph and the picture, or a selfie, that's what they do. You can do a selfie and an autograph, and you have to pay like $60. It's not cheap, you know? But my thing is, and everybody has their own thing, but when I go to a convention, I always like to bring a VHS. Like I took let me see if I can reach out. Yeah, here we go. Right here. I got 2 examples for you right here, okay? And maybe this will give you an idea. I just dropped my Jaws 3 Blu-ray, but this is kind of cool, actually. Like when I went to Spooky Empire and I met Felissa Rose and Catherine Kami and Karen Fields, the 3 girls that were in Sleepaway Camp. And I brought my VHS. I paid $25 for the VHS on eBay. And so I went there and I had all 3 of them sign it. And at the top there, you can see Felissa Rose says, "To Drumdums, meet me at the waterfront." And then the other 2 girls signed to the left and the right of the shoe. And that is one of my most prized horror possessions right there. I mean, all 3 Sleepaway Camp girls on one VHS. That's amazing. Also, I had Danielle Harris. She signed my Halloween 4. And I think James Kipling sent me this Halloween 4 VHS. It's from the UK. And I had Danielle Harris sign. I think it says Happy Halloween, something like that. 2 Drumdums, Happy Halloween. Yeah, that's how Danielle signs. She just says Happy Halloween. But that's really cool. I'm trying to find, because I got a lot of UK VHSs, but I had the UK VHSs are in PAL, P-A-L. American ones are in NTSC. I don't know what that stands for. So I can't watch these. Like, I'm literally touching my VHS player right now. Like, listen. You hear that? That's the door on the VHS player. But if I put this in here, Maybe I'll do that. Hold on, let's see what happens. If I put this in here, I'll slide it in there. And let me see. Let me turn on Jolene. Did you hear that? Poof. And let me see. 03. Jolene, don't you talk back to me. All right. Let's see if this plays. I don't think it's going to play, though. Yeah, I think you just get like a black tracking screen. So it's not going to play because it's PAL. It's not NTSC. So I'm looking to see if there's some sort of adapter or something like that. Let me hit fast forward here for a second, see what happens. Yeah, it's not going to play. So I'm going to stop that. I'm going to eject it. All right. Don't you guys love that sound? I love the sound of VHS. There we go. So I'm looking to see if there's some sort of adapter that I can get to let me play these. Because if I buy a PAL player, then I gotta get like a transformer to convert the I'm no electrician, but the electrical outlet. You know, because they're on 220 over there, and we're on 110 voltage. So I'd have to get some kind of transformer, and so then I'd have this big freaking metal box, which I guess is not too bad, but I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that idea of having to do all that, you know, just to get this thing to play. But I guess if it's a last resort, I might have to do it because I got some here that I really, really want to play. So. Because some of these would make really fun, like VHS reviews, like Vampires over there. I got John Carpenter's Vampires, which that's one I get requested a lot too, actually. Okay. Eclipsed says, I bought a Japanese PS2 just to play a wrestling game that was only made for it. All in Japanese, and it was super hard to figure out. That's the thing, too, about those consoles is, like, there's no backwards compatibility. That's how they get you. So if you buy a PS4, you can't play PS3 games. So that kind of sucks. Let's go back over to some more funnies, okay? I got a couple more funnies for you. Jason Nike, it's not as good as the sound of a needle hitting a vinyl. Very, very, very true. Okay? Very true. That is a beautiful sound. All right, so this one's a little bit more on a positive note here. And I can't read it because it's my vision is like going. But it's Samwise. It's a scene from Lord of the Rings. Are you guys Lord of the Rings fans? That's my next question for you, okay? Are you a Lord of the Rings fan? And which Lord of the Rings movie do you like the best? Because I always hear different answers on this one. And I can't tell you which movie is loved the most. There are people out there that are Fellowship people. There are people out there that are Two Towers people. And then there are Return of the King people. I think I'm a Two Towers guy. I really love Two Towers. And plus, Two Towers just feels more streamlined, if that makes sense, than the other two movies. But, I mean, they're all... I'm a Lord of the Rings fanatic. I watch Lord of the Rings every year. I do the extended editions every year. If you watch all 3 extended edition movies... But hold on. But this says... let me pull it up on my computer so I can actually read it while you guys see it. Because I love... This is one of my favorite scenes in the movie. And this is from Two Towers, actually. Yeah, he says, what are we holding on to, Sam? This pertains to today. What's going on today? And then Sam says that there's some good in this world, Mr. Frodo. And it's worth fighting for. That is a beautiful, beautiful line, you know? No matter how bad it can get, you got to find the light. You got to find a way to find the light, you know, and let it prevail. I'm a poet, I know. Let it prevail. I'm going to get a t-shirt. Drumdums. Let it prevail. I'm a moron. Okay, let me close it up. Good message, though. I like that message, right? It's a good message. Okay, so Holly's a Two Towers fan. Sadic X says, big fan of the trilogy, ranking them 1, 3, then 2. Darren Abelowitz. Hey Lee, they gave an adapter for $28.69 on Amazon. Oh, thank you. I'm gonna look that up. So it's an adapter on Amazon. All right, cool. So I'll look that up, like a VHS. You know what? Let's all go look it up together. Hold on. Here we go. Hold on. We're gonna do it, guys. We're gonna go look up that adapter together. Okay. Let me go, and you're gonna see it on the screen. All right. Yeah. All right. Here, we're gonna go to Amazon, and we're gonna go VHS adapter. PAL to NTSC converter. Here we go. All right, let me make sure you guys can see this. Yeah, okay, you guys can see it too. Okay, we're in this together, guys. Okay, you clicked on it. You clicked on the freaking live link. Okay, you're in this with me. All right, so NTSC to PAL converter kit. Now that's the opposite direction right there. I want to go. Am I right now? I want to go PAL to NTSC. Okay. So TV converter from PAL to NTSC. Or no, I think this is it. This is what I need. 2347. Converter adapter with 2 RCA cables, does not convert actual DVD or VHS, only output. I think that might be what I need. Hell yeah. I'm going to click on that. Yeah, look at that. Man, that's awesome. Let me go thank him. Hold on. You're a freaking genius. You're a goddamn genius. Hold on. Okay, who was it that said that? Let me go back up. You beautiful person, you. Hold on. Where'd I see that at? Damn it, I lost him. Oh, there he is right there. Darren Abelowitz. Yeah. Darren, you're a gentleman and a scholar. I'm going to buy that right after the stream. I'm going to buy it. Yep. Show us your search history on Amazon. Never. Oh, on Amazon. Yeah, I could show you that. You're not going to get me, Beth. That's the only thing that scares me, like, in OBS when I link it over to, like, I have it, like, you know, let's go ahead and read the Ridley Scott story, okay? I have it over here. And let me click on news. See, in OBS, you got, like, you can create different scenes. And so, yeah, so there's the news for that. See, but you can see all my windows that I got open there. Hold on, let me close that. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so here's the news for Alien, okay? And we're going to talk about Prometheus and Covenant right after this, all right? So, Ridley Scott clearly still wants to make his third Alien prequel. John Squires from BloodyDisgusting.com. All right, Ridley Scott has been saying for years that his plans for Prometheus and Alien Covenant to be the first 2 parts of a trilogy, with the third film at one point apparently titled Alien Awakening. Let me pause right there. Now, I did a video on this, I think maybe like 2 years ago, and I called it Alien Awakening. Something, did I do it? Let's go find it. Hold on, let's go find it. We're going to go find it together. Hold on just a sec. Let me go. I'm not fast at this, okay? Nobody ever called me fast, all right? Here we go. I'm going to type in Drumdums Alien Awakening. Let's see what pops up, all right? I'm going to let you guys browse around my computer, okay? Drumdums Alien Awakening. Let's see what pops up. Yep, there it is right there, guys. 1,000 views 3 years ago. Yeah, see that? So I'm going to click that. Look at my dumb, stupid freaking thumbnail face, too. I make that in every freaking thumbnail. You'd think I'd learn. I hate when don't you guys hate when you do that when you're in YouTube and you don't want this freaking little player to come up? But if you click too far to the right, so I wonder.
So apparently Ridley Scott has a major boner for the Alien franchise. What is up, guys? This is just a real quick update about the recent news that just came out about not only Alien Covenant, but what is to come after or before Alien Covenant. But first off, I want to give a shout out to Daniel Westbrook, a good friend of mine on Killer Flicks. He posted this news, and I thought I have to get an update out for you guys. But quick down and dirty, Ridley Scott, in the middle of a recent interview,
let's see what I say.
He kind of slipped. He let the cat out of the bag. They asked him, what is the timeline for Covenant? Where does it fall? And his plan is to actually have another movie after Covenant, but it's a prequel to Covenant. It takes place after Prometheus. So Covenant doesn't directly link to Prometheus. And he goes on further to say that the name of this said movie will be Alien Awakening. And will this fit into the Underworld franchise? I hope the hell not. But if these two movies are successful, they want to make 3 more Alien movies. According to the article, Covenant seems to link right up to Alien. So where do these other 3 movies lie? Possibly after Alien and completely retconning Aliens and on? Who knows? I think it's been said in the past that Ridley Scott, he didn't really consider Aliens part of his Alien universe. I love Aliens, but I have faith in Ridley Scott. He created a masterpiece with Alien, and he also created a masterpiece in my mind with Prometheus. So if he's got a raging boner for the rest of this franchise, more power to him. I don't think he'll be directing all of them. 1, because he's getting up there in age, and 2, I don't think he'll want to direct every movie. He'll probably want to give it over to a young filmmaker. But it's cool that he's excited about this. The only thing that does bother me is that they're releasing Covenant, and then they're doing a prequel to Covenant, and Prometheus was a prequel. So it's kind of confusing. And Prometheus.
So yeah, let me go back over here. I'm sick of hearing myself. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and this is me 3 years later. I look like I got hit by a truck. Okay. That was my old backdrop too. That's when I lived in Georgia. And I don't like that backdrop because I had like white shelves, which for a horror channel, I don't know if you want to have white shelves, you know? But I was excited because I had just gotten LED lights. I remember that. So I had like the green LED lights in the back. So I've come a long way, guys, right? Good times though. Good times. Okay. So now let's see if there's anything different. So let me go back over here. And let's see if there's anything different. Okay, so Ridley Scott has been saying for years that the plan was for Prometheus and Alien Covenant to be the first 2 parts of a trilogy, which I think back then he wanted Awakening to be between Prometheus and Covenant, which is really freaking weird. At one point, apparently titled Alien Awakening, set to dovetail directly into the events of the original Alien, which I like that. I think that's awesome. So what's the latest on that? Now that Covenant underperformed and Disney owns the franchise, well, the radio silence on that front would sure seem to suggest that Ridley Scott was may never get to make that final prequel film, and we wouldn't be surprised to see Disney revive the franchise with an entirely different approach than the one Scott had been taking. Chatting with LA Times, however, Scott suggests a proper Alien prequel is still very much on his mind. And I quote, this is Ridley Scott, "I still think there's a lot of mileage in Alien, but I think you'll have to now re-evolve," Scott told the outlet. He continued, "What I always thought when I was making the first one was, why would a creature like this be made, and why was it traveling in what I always thought was a kind of Warcraft? which was carrying a cargo of these eggs. What was the purpose of the vehicle, and what was the purpose of the eggs? That's the thing to question. Who, why, and for what purpose is the next idea, I think. So, I mean, I think there's been plenty of that in Prometheus and Covenant. But I still want to, like I said, I want to bridge that gap, and I want to finally link up Covenant to the first Alien. Then it'd be kind of cool, because then you could go back and you could watch this trilogy before you jump into Alien. Which leads me to my next question for you guys. Which do you prefer, or do you just not like either one of them? Prometheus or Covenant? Because these two movies are highly debated. Like, anytime I mention these movies on any kind of countdown or just any kind of video in general, there's always somebody that can't wait to come out of the woodwork and say, I fucking hate that movie. I hate Prometheus. I hate Covenant. People, there's certain properties that, like, It Follows. There's certain properties that people just cannot wait to tell you that they hate. And I'm the opposite of that. I'm the guy that jumps in and says, no, I love it. It's the greatest thing ever. You don't know what you're talking about. So I'm part of the problem. But I guess it just, it's different tastes. And I am such a fan of the Alien universe. And I always wanted to know the space jockey story. Ever since I saw Aliens back in 1986, and then, because I think I saw Aliens first. And then later, I finally watched Alien, and I fell in love with it. But the thing about Alien was it offered this mythology, or a hint at a mythology that wasn't really explored in the movie. When they get to LV-426, and you got John Hurt walking on the spacecraft and looking in the eggs and all that stuff. But before he gets to the eggs, he sees the space jockey. And it's just this massive freaking like space station. And we don't know if that's like a creature sitting in that thing, or if we find out in Prometheus that that's actually their, I guess their protective, what would you call that? I'm trying to think. It's like a protective gear that they're wearing, I guess, because it kind of makes sense when astronauts go out into space, they have to be protected, so they wear the spacesuits. So it's kind of like a spacesuit for the engineers. But they figured that out when they were writing Prometheus. All those questions weren't really answered back then. It was more of just a question. That's what it was. So, but I'm not the type of guy that I want just xenomorph movies. No, I'm into that world. I'm really into the whole mythos of Alien and the planets and just everything about it. I want to know every little bit of it, the minutia, all that stuff. I just love the Alien world. And so I was over the moon when A, they were going to explain the story of the space jockey, and then B, the man himself, Ridley Scott, was going to come back and direct Prometheus. So Prometheus, here's a big reason why I love both these movies. They're both very different in almost every way. Although the story is still kind of the same. The Covenant is the logical extension story-wise to what Prometheus is. But both movies stand on their own. They're both very different movies. Prometheus is a beautiful film. I mean, it is a beautifully directed, produced, everything. I mean, it's just completely top notch. I look at Prometheus like, say you won the lottery and you went and stayed at the most expensive hotel you could possibly ever stay in, right? And you get up there and you got room service waiting for you, and they got the towel with the mints on it and everything, and you open the fridge and it's just completely packed to the rim. You get what I'm saying? That's Prometheus. Prometheus is just a souped up to the nines, beautiful film. I mean, in every way. I mean, you could just look at it and fall in love with it. It's just a gorgeous film, especially the 4K version of it, which I have. So then when you dig into that the plot of Prometheus, it's very ambitious. There's some really crazy stuff going on in there. And one thing I love about it too is when I was first watching Prometheus, you know, you're doing this as you're watching. You're like, oh my God. If you're a big Alien World fan, you know, I'm just like, oh man, please give me some more, you know, some Easter eggs here, you know, tie it to the xenomorph. You know, when they get into the big room where they got the big head, and if you look on the wall and you see like the xenomorph, there's just all these little Easter eggs throughout Prometheus. But it gives you DNA more than it gives you the actual thing that we know from the first Alien. Like, remember that the alien, the eggs in the first Alien? Well, they have these like, it almost looks like mechanized little canisters, and they're kind of in the shape of eggs, which I thought was really cool. And then, you know, David takes off the top of the canister, and you see like this black goo. And so like everything about Prometheus, like I said, it's like it links in some way to Alien. You know, the black goo kind of links to the parasite, you know? So it's just it's very Alien-esque, but it's just a different vehicle to get you there. That's what I loved about Prometheus. You know, all the DNA is there of the Alien universe. And then the engineers, like that opening scene with the engineers and how it ties to religion and all this crazy stuff, I was just eating all that up. You know, I've always been interested in like religion anyway, like the history of religion and how civilizations, they really sink into whatever religion that they're worshiping. And so I've always been interested in the history of different religions. It's just kind of cool, and how it affects human behavior. And Prometheus dares to do that. You know, I mean, if you really think about it, the first Alien, it's pretty much a slasher movie. It's not really a deep thinking type of film. I mean, all the way down to the characters. These are blue-collared truck drivers in space types of characters. So for this movie that feels so different, you know, being Prometheus, that's so ambitious, I think because it was so different and so far removed and was so ambitious, I think a lot of fans, I don't know, maybe that just turned them off to it, and they wanted just a straight up Alien movie. And that interests me. You know, I like the backstory of all that, and what, you know, it's all human behavior. You know, some people, they want to dive into that world, and some people, they, like I said, they just want a xenomorph movie. Hell, Ridley Scott didn't even want to put a xenomorph in Prometheus. I believe he was pressured into finally putting the Deacon in, which the Deacon is a really cool looking xenomorph. I love that he didn't give you a straight up xenomorph. You know, the Deacon looks very different. It looks like a descendant of the xenomorph. Another scene that I really loved too was when Shaw, her boyfriend passed on whatever infection he had to Shaw, and so then she goes to that operating station or something like that to give birth. And I remember watching the movie like, what? Oh my God, what is inside her? You know, is it a parasite? Is it a xenomorph? That's what I loved about Prometheus. You were constantly like, what is that? What's that going to be right there? What's, you know? So when you go back and watch Prometheus again and again, I don't know. It's different. And that's what I like about it. You know, it's a completely different world. And if you, it gives me that option to like, am I in the mood for an Alien movie? Just a straight, simple, slasher-esque type Alien movie? Or am I in the mood for this? You know, Prometheus. I like that it's not a copy of Alien. Because I got Alien over here. I can grab Alien right here and I can watch it. It's great. As a matter of fact, I have it right here. I have the Alien box set right here on... this is before Alien Resurrection came out. This is the VHS trilogy. Yeah. Gorgeous. But yeah, if I want that, I can grab that. I can watch that. Prometheus is a different thing, you know. By the way, my son's favorite movie all time, Prometheus. He loves Prometheus like you couldn't believe. He's just insane for Prometheus. So now I'm going to read a couple of your comments before I jump into Covenant, which I really, really freaking love Covenant. Okay. Wade Fox says, I didn't care too much for Alien 3, honestly. I was feeling bitter about Hicks and Newt and the, oh my God, that's another whole conversation we could have there about Alien 3. Jesus. Whew. Assembly cut. Okay, let me go up here. Hold on. Now, George Howman says, Jesus as an engineer, thus damning the human race with the black goo. Now, I like that they weren't completely on the nose. You know, you could kind of form your own hypotheses, your own theories about who the engineers were. But it's almost like there was no wrong answer. You know, I like that they didn't come out and say the words G. I mean, hell, they were talking about a bunch of different civilizations having all similar religions, just a different name for the religion. And that's all true. There are, you know, if you look throughout time, throughout history, there have been different civilizations that have worshipped different deities. And all of them are actually pretty similar. So that's pretty much what Prometheus did. It took those ideas and it put it in a sci-fi world. It's polarizing. You know, I think that's the word we're looking for. That's the elephant in the room, okay? Like other polarizing movies, Prometheus, it's polarizing. It's not for everybody. Chappie, Antonio, I was really curious about what your opinion was, actually. So he says, even though that I loved Prometheus and Covenant, I would have loved to have seen Neil Blomkamp's Alien 5. Of course you would. And this is coming from someone that loved Alien 3, the assembly cut. I do too. I really love the assembly cut of Alien 3. And I really just gave you the reason. It's different. It's not the same old thing. And I like that whole Gallic subplot that they had in the assembly cut. You know, they cut a lot of interesting stuff out for the theatrical cut. You know, even the way that the xenomorph came to be. You know, he came from a dog in the theatrical cut, and he came from an ox in the extended cut or assembly cut. Which, if you guys don't know, an assembly cut, and I just found this out myself like recently, assembly cut, that's something that exists in every movie. Actually, the first cut that they put together of a movie after they've finished production is called the assembly cut. You know, it's not the final cut. It's not the director's cut. It's kind of, you know, the big, healthy, hearty cut that they cut down. You know, it's potential footage that they might want to use for the movie. So they call that the assembly cut, and that's basically what Alien 3 assembly cut is. It just so happens to be almost to the T what David Fincher wanted out of the movie. I mean, David Fincher's actually said that. He doesn't talk much about Alien 3 at all, but he has basically stated that the assembly cut is the closest thing to what he was wanting out of the movie. Now, I'm looking. I want to see some of your opinions on Prometheus, okay, guys? Hold on, let me see. George Hellman says, I am of the view that David didn't create the xenomorph, but rather a strain of one similar to what killed the engineers. I guess we'll see what Ridley does. Well, I mean, if you look in Covenant, I've watched the movie a couple times now, probably like 3 times now. But, you know, David, he performed a lot of experiments to eventually get to the xenomorph. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but David did pretty much create the xenomorph through all this experimentation, you know, using Shaw as like a host. One thing I love, there's so many things I love about Covenant. I really, really love that movie. I love that Covenant is a horror movie. Prometheus is like a sci-fi thriller. But Covenant is a dyed-in-the-wool, straight-up sci-fi horror movie. Even the way it looks, even the color timing of it looks more alien-esque, you know. But when it's go time in that movie, it gets really bloody. Like, I really love the scene in the lab when the alien is like, or the parasite is coming out of the guy. It's like a neomorph. It's coming out of the guy's back, out of his spine. That is an intense scene. And you know, that movie is just full of stuff like that. And you don't really see the xenomorph until like the final act of the movie. So, but there's plenty of crazy stuff going on before we even get to that scene. You guys, I actually want to throw in Covenant again. I wouldn't mind watching it again. Maybe I'll do that after this, because it's been a while since I watched it. But man, I love that movie, and it's not Prometheus. It's the next logical step. But you guys can tell I love the alien world. If I had to like rank my franchises, Alien's up there. I think Alien's probably my second favorite franchise after Halloween, if I'm being honest. And when I get in an alien mood, I'm like fully engulfed in it, you know. And I really want to watch. If I'm being honest, Prometheus, Covenant, and the first Alien, and then Aliens. Those 4 movies, give me those, and I'm good. You know, I get my fix. I love Alien 3 Assembly Cut. It's not one that I need to watch constantly, though. You know, those 4 movies are the ones that I like. They're all 5 out of 5 movies for me, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, they're just fun movies. Chappie says, Lee, if you want to know my thoughts on Prometheus, for me, it's a masterpiece. I never understood the hate for me, and I just loved how it gives us unanswered questions at the end. Yeah, I love the Deacon ending, you know. Plus, just the way that whole scene looks, you know, with all the mist and it's like this. There's like smoke and fog and all that stuff around, and you got the great like eerie score going on, and there's a lot of fade ins and fade outs, and you see the engineer, you know, his body like rips open, and the freaking Deacon just like pours out of him. Which is interesting too, because in the movies, it's like a baby that comes out, the xenomorph. You know, it's just like a little baby. But the Deacon, he came out like, I mean, he's still a baby, but he's probably like 4 times the size of what a baby xenomorph looks like. So it makes you wonder, like, a Deacon is probably massive, like fully grown. And that's something they didn't show us. They didn't explore really. But, I mean, and because it came out of an engineer, I think the engineers are like 10 feet tall or something like that. So that means the Deacon is probably like 10 feet tall, which is kind of interesting. Makes me think of like Predator too. Remember the Predator? Shane Black's Predator, and he had like that giant Predator in there. And the giant Predator was like 15 feet tall or something like that. Didn't really pan out though. It was kind of like, okay, it's a big Predator, but this movie's nowhere near the first Predator. Okay, I got some more questions for you guys. Hold on. Let me pull up my questions here. And I was going to talk about movie theaters opening and a little bit about Godzilla versus King Kong. So my next question to you guys is Alien or Aliens? And I'm expecting probably a 50-50 shot on this one, because there's people that love Aliens more and there's people that love Alien more. So start typing up your answers for that, okay? I'm going to read a few of them. Alien or Aliens, and tell me why. The Predator, it's not a bad movie, but I think it loses steam. Like the first half of the movie, there's some great, funny character moments. Like Shane Black's really good with dialogue. He's good with characters. but I think the script like got away from him, and it just couldn't find its footing. You know, like the first Predator movie it's very structured, and you know everything has a purpose, and it's just very well paced. Whereas the Predator felt kind of like it didn't know where it wanted to go. You know, I lost interest after a while. Okay, all right. I see some answers coming in now. Aliens, but by a hair. I can't. I love them both. Erica. Alien over Aliens. Haunted Hobo. Chris Snyder, for me, it's Aliens. Haley Wright, Aliens. A lot of you guys prefer Aliens. I see Aliens as like a more of an action movie. It does have some horror elements in it, for sure. Aliens by a hair. Damn, like most of you guys say Aliens. Horror and Coffee, Aliens. I saw that 8 times in the summer of '86. Holy crap, that's awesome. You know, I did not get to see Aliens in the theater. I saw it when, I think I rented it on VHS. When it finally came to VHS, I was spending the night with a friend of mine, and I remember we rented it, and this was the first Alien movie I ever saw. I had never seen Ridley Scott's first movie yet, and I remember just how, because I didn't know what the movie was, I didn't know what to expect from it, but I had a blast with it. I mean, the second movie is a balls to the wall, fun ass movie. I prefer the theatrical cut too. I think the extended cut, it's a little bit too long. I think some of the scenes are they're left on the cutting room floor for a reason. I think it's not a bad version to watch though. Mikey Weiss, what's up, Mikey? How you doing, brother? He says Alien. It's sci-fi horror of the best kind. Yeah, and it's another thing. Like those two movies are so freaking different from each other, and I like that the first one feels just like a dyed-in-the-wool horror movie, you know? But they're both, I mean, amazing freaking movies. It is what it is. That's tough. Alien for atmosphere and Lovecraft feel. It does have a Lovecraft feel, actually. Aliens for the action. I might say Aliens just because of how they did the Queen. The making of Aliens is just as fun as the movie itself. Have you? Yeah, I was just going to say that. If you watch the documentary on Aliens, they show them like the animatronic Queen alien. You know, they're out in this parking lot on a, you know, outside of the soundstage, and you know they built this thing. They built the Queen alien for the movie. There's no CGI in it whatsoever. It looks awesome. I will say, I think the final act, and it's a very different final act in Aliens, is the better final act when, you know, when she's like, "You bitch." And she gets in the big, I guess it's like a walking forklift. Bay 12, please. And she gets in there and she fights the Queen alien. That's a badass scene, actually. But I mean, it's crazy to me that they were able to practically build a Queen alien and they pulled it off. It looked real. Also, when she goes down, this is why Ripley is like the greatest final girl ever. She goes back right into the danger and goes down to save Nuke. And just that whole scene when she gets down there, I mean, this is Cameron's direction is freaking flawless. And the camera like slowly pans up, really slow, and the first thing it reveals is all these eggs, and then it goes up, and then you see the size of the Queen, and you see Ripley there with the gun. That is one of the most iconic freaking scenes in like cinema history, period. I freaking love that scene. It's amazing. Tom Ungren says, I believe, could be wrong, but Alien and Halloween came out the same year. No, Halloween came out 78, Alien 79. So, back to back. Chappie, Lee, I hope this counts for me. Alien 3, the assembly cut, is my favorite of the franchise. Oh, wow. I love the assembly cut, but I definitely don't put it above Alien and Aliens. I don't even put it above Prometheus and Covenant. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, and this is my opinion, but the Alien franchise has 4 movies that are in chronological order, for me anyway, that are all 5 out of 5 movies. Prometheus, Covenant, Alien, Aliens. I don't think any other franchise can make that claim. Lord of the Rings almost does it, but they only got 3 movies. They don't have 4. I mean, can you guys think of any other franchise that has 4 chronological movies that are, I mean, you know, as Dave McCray would say, bang on? By the way, I can't wait for his It's Me, Billy, just because I'm such a Black Christmas fanatic, and anything to wash the freaking taste out of that god-awful remake. God, I freaking love you guys. All right. Yeah, Alien on 4K does look amazing. Remember they came out with the Steelbook and the regular 4K slip? Here's a question for you guys if you bought it. Did you buy the Steelbook or did you buy the slip? I literally was at Best Buy. I had the Steelbook right here and I had the slip right here. I had to get the slip. Let me get the slip. I'll show you why. It's the most beautiful looking freaking slipcover I've ever seen. Yeah, look at this. I couldn't buy the Steelbook. I had to get the slip because, I mean, it even has like this rainbow effect when you turn it. It's really just insane looking. And look at that picture of the Xeno. Yeah, I had to have that version. And I watched this on 4K. It is beautiful on 4K. Beautiful. You know, all the fruits of Ridley Scott's labor are on full fucking display. Jesus. Look at the Xenomorph too. Isn't that like I mean, there's nothing cooler than, I mean, look at that. It's insane looking. How do you come up with that? I mean, Giger was a genius. I fanboy a lot, guys, okay? I apologize if I fanboy too much, but that's just me. That's just the way I am. That looks like a zipper. Like if you look at that on the side of his, let me hold it still. If you look at where the top of his mouth is, doesn't that look like a zipper going all the way back? Very strange. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I paid full price too. I think I paid $30 for this. Certain movies, take my money, please. Certain movies, I gotta have them. So I gotta find Jaws 4K though. That's my next thing. I gotta find that. There's a movie that I'm about to order. Silent Rage, the Chuck Norris movie, where Chuck Norris versus Michael Myers. I mean, he pretty much is like he's like this, I don't know if he's a robot dude or whatever he is, but I saw Silent Rage like when I was really young. And I just realized they have it on Blu-ray, so I want to buy it. Scotty Boy Rules says, I bought the Alien 4K and I don't even have a 4K TV or player. That's the way to do it though, Scotty. Like, I think that's the way I did it too. I bought the movies before I bought the player. Same thing with DVD. Same thing with, I mean, I buy the player pretty quick after because I can't contain myself, but I always try to get a few movies before so that way I got something to watch. Yeah. At least you don't fanboy obnoxiously. I've been guilty of that from time to time, I'm sure. Oh, I had more questions for you guys. See, I get sidetracked all the time. Horrible host. Okay, hold on. Let me go over here. Oh, yeah. All right, give me, because I'm supposed to ask you guys questions. Give me your first theater horror experience. Okay? Tell me what the movie was. Tell me a little bit about the experience. Was it memorable or was it just okay? You know, I'm trying to think of what my first horror movie I saw in the theater was. 'Cause I know my first movie I saw in the theater was Superman 2, and that was a great experience. Like Superman. I'm a big Superman fan, so I was geeking out when Superman comes to the Daily Planet, and Zod and his henchmen are there, and you know you see like the the newspapers start flying up, you know, because Superman's gone at this time. Everybody's like, where's Superman? And so all of a sudden, and then you see the freaking newspapers, and then Superman flies up to the window and he's like, General Zod, would you care to step outside? I lost it. It was amazing. Seeing that in the theater was amazing. But horror-wise, what did I see horror? I want to say the first horror movie I saw in the theater might have been Dream Warriors. I think Dream Warriors might be that movie. 87? Yeah, 87 I believe it was. Dream Warriors. That might be my first horror movie I saw in the theater. Which was awesome. Man, Dream Warriors in the theater, well, everybody was on cloud nine for that movie. It was so freaking cool. The best scene in the movie for me was when Nancy first falls into Kristen's dream, and then she sees the phallic Freddy, and he looks up and he goes, "You." And I was like, wow, this is insane. I didn't know horror movies could be this cool, you know. So yeah, that's a great first horror movie to see in the theater, I guess. I'm gonna read a couple of years now. Brett Stewart says, my first horror movie theater experience took me a while to go see horror in theaters. Scream 4, and it was a great time. Yeah, I saw Scream 4 in the theater too. I was excited just to have another Scream movie because if you remember, I believe that was a good 11-year, maybe 10-year gap, because I think Scream 3 came out in, was it 01? Somewhere around there. So, yeah, I mean, 10 years. So, yeah, I was really excited. Darren says, hey, Lee, Carla said she saw Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, and it messed her up. Isn't that the Bob Clark movie? Wade Fox says the only horror experience was It and Halloween 2018. Nobody ever wanted to take me to see horror movies in theaters. Halloween was probably one of the worst experiences for me, to be honest. Is that because you just didn't like the movie? Luckily, when I was young, my parents, at a certain age anyway, my parents just kind of left me to be, and I could go and hang out with my friends, and I'd go to the movies. I always loved going to the movies, and so my parents didn't really go to see movies with me in the theater. The only movie I think my parents went to see with me was Rocky 4, but we didn't even sit together. So luckily I had that freedom to do all that when I was young. Horror and Coffee, Friday the 13th, the final chapter, spring of 84. Damn, that's cool. That would have been awesome to see in the theater. Matthew Moochman says, pretty sure it was Annabelle 2014. Too bad it wasn't a better movie. I was only 16 when it came out. Yeah, the first Annabelle, it's just a very lackluster movie, you know. There's nothing too great about it. Yeah, Scream 3 was February 2000, actually. Okay, thank you, George. Haley says she also saw Friday the 13th in theater. The first Friday movie I saw in theaters was Part 7, which was awesome. The big showdown between Tina and Jason on the big screen, that was badass, actually. And seeing Star Mummy on the big screen, Star Mummy. I want a t-shirt that says Star Mummy, and it has that dude with he looks like a mummy with the colored bandage all around him. I need a t-shirt that's got that. Holly says, I know what you did last summer, first theater experience. I can't believe I didn't see I Know What You Did Last Summer in the theater. I'm trying to I don't know why. Did I? I can't remember. I know I saw H2O in the theater. I was excited for H2O. You know, because after 6 came out, I thought Halloween was going direct to video. I thought that was it. We had a good run, guys. Let's hang it up. And it was going to go direct to video. And then Jamie Lee Curtis saved the day, came in and said, hey, I'll be in a Halloween movie. And as much hate as I don't want to say hate, but as much crap as I give Jamie Lee Curtis, because, I'm just kind of done with the character. She has saved the Halloween franchise a couple of times now. She's kept it in theaters. So people obviously love Laurie Strode as a character. Chris Snyder says, I don't remember the first one I ever saw, but the worst one I've seen in theaters was the Fog remake and The Ring 2. Ooh, but yeah, both those are rough. I saw the Fog remake in the theater, and the only good part of that movie was the opening credits when it said a Deborah Hill production. Because Deborah Hill had died right before that movie came out. So it was kind of nice to see her name one last time on the screen. But yeah, rest in peace, Deborah Hill. Let's see. Taffer says, I used to be afraid of horror movies. All the kids in the neighborhood would go to the Friday the 13th movies. I started reading Fangoria and learned how they were done, and then it was easy. Yeah, I mean, horror movies don't really scare. It's a movie that scares me comes along pretty much once every 10 years, maybe. It just takes a lot to scare me, and I'm sure you guys too. You know, it's just horror fans were always chasing that high, you know. Let me go to my next question for you guys. I got another question here for you. Okay, here's a fun one. So, are any of you new to my channel? You know, I'd say within like the last couple months. If you're new to my channel, speak up, introduce yourself, tell me about yourself, and let me see. I'm trying to think of one more question for you. I guess what brought you to my channel? You know, what other channels do you like? Stuff like that. Or just introduce yourself. You know, because I'd like to meet you. I'd like to say hello to you and thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch my stupid videos. Mizzy E says, I can relate. My mom doesn't like horror movies either. She went with me to see Scream 3, which was surprising, but she knew I was dying to see it. Yeah, the funny thing about me is my parents, both of them, don't like horror movies at all. Like, at all. So I never had the experience of watching horror movies with my parents, you know, because I know a lot of horror fans, it was a family thing. I've known a lot of people say that they were introduced to horror through their parents. I never was. So, Stay Metal Ray, what's up, brother? Yeah, I know you've been here 3 years, man. Hell yeah. Check out his channel, guys. He's a hell of a guitarist. I mean, god damn, he's a good guitarist. Especially if you're into like music channels, he's definitely one of the best out there. So check out Metal Ray. We've been friends for quite a few years, though, actually. DJ Jones, that's one bad thing about starting early with horror movies. You kind of get desensitized. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was pretty desensitized at an early age. Not really new. Horror Nerd 13, not really new. Been watching you for a year now, but it's my first time watching your live stream. Oh, cool. Yeah. My live streams are really like laid back. You know, I just like to chat with you guys and hang and talk about, you know, movies and stupid shit. Now, let me ask you guys this. Are you guys like King Kong and Godzilla fans? And who would you root for? Are you going to root for King Kong or are you going to root for Godzilla? Because I think I'm going to root for King Kong. I've always been a King Kong guy. I love Godzilla. Don't get me wrong. But King Kong 76 was one of the first movies I ever saw. And I you know, as a kid, I loved that movie. And it was emotional for me. Tom Ungren says, Lee, you were the first YouTuber I ever subscribed to. Then Dead Meat, then Slash and Cast. I think were my first. I got up on Cody through your page as well. Awesome. All those are good channels. Schlock Buster Video. I have been watching this channel for a few years. Randomness brought me here. Sincerity kept me here. Cheersly. Thank you. That's very nice. So Ronnie Dan says Godzilla. Not really into either. I'll root for Godzilla. Crew member. Haunted Hobo says Kong for the win. Kong all the way. Jason Mongold. So it's kind of split down the middle. Yeah, I want Kong to win. Kong's got a lot of passion in him, you know? Plus, Kong, like, size-wise, isn't Godzilla supposed to be, like, freaking 200 feet tall? And then Kong is, like, 50 feet. So, I don't know how that's going to work out. I guess we'll see. George Hellman, I came to your channel a while ago because you were recommended from videos I like. Glad for that. Awesome. Brett Stewart, Godzilla over King Kong when they fight. You know, either way, though, I can't wait to see them fight. And I'm glad Adam Wingard's directing it. Because Adam Wingard, he's a big fan, you know? So I'm curious to see what he's going to bring to the table. Because Adam Wingard's a good director. And I'm going to get pickles thrown at me now, but I actually enjoyed his take on what's the name of the anime that he did for Netflix a couple years ago. It's on the tip of my tongue. You guys are going to tell me. I just know it. Death Note. Death Note's not perfect, the movie, but I actually enjoyed it. I actually had a good time with it. But I haven't seen the anime, and I've heard the anime is like so much better. But I thought Willem Dafoe was great as the character in Death Note. What's his name? I can't remember what they call him. I'm not a Death Note guy. Okay. I'm not a big anime guy. My son is an anime fanatic. Like, he literally watches anime like every day. Chris Snyder, thanks, man. I've been a Drumdum follower for about 3 years. One of the best decisions I ever made was joining Killer Flicks and finding some awesome horror channels. I've been a horror fan for life, and I'm glad. That's awesome, man. Awesome. Somewhat new, enjoy horror, listen to metal, and play drums, plus King Kong. Hell yeah. Hell yeah to all those things. I miss my drums terribly. I can't wait to freaking pull my drums out. Get going again. Erica, relatively new. I came across your Halloween zombie remake review and subbed immediately. You're so much fun. Loving chatting horror with you. Yeah, I love chatting horror with you guys. It's awesome. That Zombies remake. Erica, what did you think of Zombies remake? I didn't get your take on it. I remember when Zombie was first announced to be remaking Halloween, and Zombie brings out fear in people, you know, especially with properties like Halloween, because there's this like dirty, unsafe side to Zombie. I mean, he had just put out Devil's Rejects and House of 1,000 Corpses, which those are great. I love those movies, but attaching his name to Halloween, I was somewhat excited at the possibilities, but I was also a little scared. Like, ooh, this could be... I knew he was going to make Halloween, like, graphic, bloody. And, I mean, it definitely delivered on all those fronts. I just didn't really care for what he did in the backstory, I guess. And I was always curious about a young Michael Myers backstory before that movie came out. But I don't know. I guess it just didn't translate well on screen. Plus, I mean, I don't like Myers being in a white trash upbringing. He's not that. That's not Michael Myers. He's not that character. He's just a normal suburban kid that just one day killed his sister for no reason whatsoever. So, but yeah, like Haley said, I was really excited to see what he was going to do. Yeah, I agree with that. But I knew it could go either way. But I remember I watched it too, because I was actually in Japan at the time, because it came out in 2007. So I was in Japan 2006 to 9. So, and I remember I wanted to see the movie so freaking bad, you know, because it was Halloween, and I was excited because Rob Zombie, even at the time, was a big director. So I remember my anticipation for them. Like, I was like, oh my God, I got to see this movie. It was just like Halloween 2018. I was freaking out. And I was upset because in Japan, when you live on a military installation, you don't get the movies for a couple months after they come out in theaters in the States. So I couldn't see it when it came out in the States, and I had to hear about all these people's reactions to the movie, and I was dying inside. I wanted to see this movie so bad. So I ended up watching the work print version. There's a work print version out there that came out, I believe, around the same time it came out in theaters. And there's a few differences in the work print version. There's like tombstone scene where Myers pulls the tombstone, the Judith Myers tombstone out. They literally show him lifting it up and taking it out. And that's not in either the theatrical version or the director's cut. And also the opening of the movie is not Mr. Sandman. It's actually the Monster Mash. Because I think they just had like plug-in music that they use, like temp music is what they call it, when they're doing like a work print. And so the temp music they used in the work print was Monster Mash. But obviously they didn't have the rights to the song, or they didn't pay for the rights to the song, so they ended up not using it. But I still have it on my external hard drive too. It's kind of cool to have that version of the movie, you know? It's just a little different. But also the ending of the work print is not the same as the theatrical version. I remember when I first saw the theatrical version, when it finally came out on DVD, and I was like, oh, wow, because in the work print version, it ends when Malcolm McDowell, Loomis, comes up and he saves Lori, you know, after she's screaming her head off for like 10 minutes. And then he saves her. And then the cops shoot Myers in front of the Myers house. And then then there's like a crane shot above Myers, and then it pulls up, and then that's the end of the movie. So that's what I thought the movie was until I actually saw it on DVD. And then it ends at that scene, but then all of a sudden Myers grabs Loomis by the face and pulls him in the house. And then the scene carries on for like another 15 minutes. So it's different. You know, Zombie always likes to have a few different versions of his movies. So DJ Jones says my intro to Drumdums was probably a Halloween related vid. Always on the lookout for Halloween discussions. You get a lot of them here. I'll tell you that. We Halloween sites, we get our flack from time to time. Some people say we depend on Halloween. I don't know. You know what though? Like when I started my channel, Halloween wasn't what it is now. And I remember I did one of my first videos that took off was a Halloween update back in 2015 for Marcus Dunstan's Halloween Returns. And Halloween Returns wasn't given the coverage that Halloween 2018 did because John Carpenter was attached and Jamie Lee Curtis. Those two names were not attached to Halloween Returns, so it was really just small little horror movie. It was going to be released theatrically, but I didn't think anything about, you know, Halloween was going to be a big part of one of my channels doing well. I guess it was just kind of a happy accident. And so then after I did that, I saw that it got all those views. So I was like, yeah, maybe I'll go ahead and review some of the movies in the franchise. And so then, you know, then I started getting some traction in my channel. So I definitely don't take anything away from the franchise as far as helping my channel out. It has definitely helped. But I mean, that's just YouTube 101, you know? There's certain videos that you almost have to make if you want to get traction in the game, you know? I know that there's certain videos that I make that are going to probably get twice the views of other videos. And there's certain videos that I make that are going to take me twice as long to make, that I'm going to have to put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in, because I know that they're going to get more views, you know, like say my ranking videos. I know ranking videos are going to do pretty well. So sometimes I'm like, I really want to review this movie over here. I want to review freaking Joyride or something like that. But if I review Joyride, and I will eventually review a movie, yeah, that's just an example, but I know that it's going to get half the views of what, you know, a top 10 is. And so it's a trade-off. And so, but still, I like to have that balance. Sometimes I do stuff that I really want. I want to do all of what I do, but, you know, some things you like doing more than others, you know? And I do like doing rankings, but I got kind of bored with just ranking franchises and stuff like that. So that's when I reached out to you guys, and I was like, hey, guys, give me some ideas for rankings. And then you guys just freaking opened the floodgates for me, and you were like, hey, why don't you do like horror chases? You know, why don't you do like double features? Those are all stuff that you guys gave me. And I was like, oh my God, that's great. So, you know, sometimes you got to reach out to the people. You guys like saved my channel, really. So Chris Snyder, I just started my channel recently, and if it gets traction, awesome. If not, that's cool too. I just do it because I love it and I love chatting movies with other folks. That's the mindset you want to go into. You always want to hone your craft and you always want to try to better yourself, but you still got to remember the reason that you're doing it in the first place, and that's because you enjoy doing it. And you don't get hung up on the views at first, because when you start out, you're probably not going to get the views that you will later down the road. But if you're passionate about it and you're creative, then the views will more than likely come. Ashley Morrow, Halloween. Yeah, I know she's one of my newer ones, one of my newest patrons. So, very friendly person too, very sweet. So, Tom Ungren, did you hear about the Halloween script where Myers drives by some badass kids trick-or-treating and he throws a decapitated head at them? Oh my God, I just laughed out loud. That's great. What was that in? I want that scene. He drives by. He's like the old angry man. Get off my lawn. And he like throws a freaking decapitated head. Myers would do that too. An old Myers would definitely do that. Chappie says, Lee, I'm personally a King Kong fan. I loved Kong Skull Island. Didn't really care about the 2005 King Kong movie. The 2005 movie is good, but it is definitely bloated. The Empire State Building scene, though, is brutal. Not a dry eye in the theater. I remember when I saw that. There's some great moments in that movie. There's a lot of heart in that movie, but it is long. Even like the theatrical version is very long, and then he made like an extended cut, which is even longer. But I will say this: if you like blooper reels, the blooper reel for King Kong, easily one of the funniest blooper reels I've ever seen. That was kind of a happy accident, and it's on like the extended edition Blu-ray. So if you ever get a chance, if you want to laugh and you want to watch a really good blooper reel, that's the one. It's so funny. Jack Black is hilarious on the blooper reel, especially when he's like presenting his case to all, like the beginning of the movie, and he's trying to like present his idea, and so Jack Black, he likes to improvise a lot, and so he's like in front of them, and he's like, I got an idea, and they go through like 5 different takes, and he says something different every time, and one of the times he goes, I got an idea that's gonna blow your balls off. And that's obviously not the cut that they use, but he just likes fishing for different ideas, so it's funny. Damn, guys, this flew by. 10:03 already. Jesus. Wow. I really had a great time with you guys tonight. I swear, I look forward to every Thursday night hanging with you guys. I'm always nervous. I'm like, am I going to have enough to talk about? But you guys make it easy on me. We just hang with each other. It's cool. I drink my stupid Monster, and we show off our toys, and we talk about horror, and it's awesome. Thank you, Erica. Top 10 Alien franchise moments. Ooh, now we're talking. I like that. You know what? Here's what I do, and I'm going to do that right now for Erica. I snap a photo of whatever you guys send me. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So you can see it. There we go. So yeah, you can see that. I got my photo right there. So that way when I go and do it, then I can look at, so Erica Bro, this will be she gave me this idea. And now we're going to talk about top 10 Alien franchise moments. That's a good idea, actually, too. And actually, I could do like top 10 biggest mistakes of the Alien franchise. Ooh, now we're talking. Top 10 things the Alien franchise gets right. That could be kind of like the moments, I guess, favorite moments. But I like those gets right and biggest mistakes vids. Those are fun. So. But that's a great idea. Thank you, Erica. I like that. And after talking to you today, I felt like I wanted to watch Psycho 2 again. So. Don't think we'll get a Kills trailer till July, Mizzy E. Yeah, oh my God, we're in June right now, aren't we, guys? And there is no news whatsoever. AMC is scared that their doors are going to shut forever. Cats and dogs living together, anarchy, and no Halloween Kills trailer. it's kind of getting scary, and I think, they're basing everything right now off of the current environment. The current environment right now is very different than what it was when Halloween 2018 trailer came out. There was a fever in the air. Right now, we're having to muster up that fever. We don't even have theaters open. So, and the closer we get to October, the more scared I get, guys. I'm not going to lie. I really, really hope they don't push this movie back. A lot of businesses are opening back up now, though, so I think there's hope. I still think that there's a good shot that it's going to come out in October. But that trailer is going to be a very important time frame. Because they're not going to want to release that trailer if they decide to push the movie back. If they push that movie back, they're going to wait to release that trailer. And I think that's what they're doing right now. They're wanting to get confirmation that they can release this movie safely in October. And I think the second they get that confirmation, we're going to see that trailer. That's what they're waiting for. I guarantee you. Ronnie Den, thanks, man. Candyman was supposed to be out in yeah, I know, dude. Candyman was supposed to be out this freaking month. And the rumor was that the trailer was going to be dropped theatrically for Halloween Kills during Candyman. And I was so looking forward to Candyman too, by the way. That movie looks great, actually. All right. Anyway, guys, I got to go watch Game of Thrones. I watched all of Game of Thrones season 8, and I got so in the mood to rewatch the series that me and my wife jumped over to season 1 again. And so we're on episode 4 or 5 now of season 1. And I love Game of Thrones. Season 8 is probably the worst season of the show, and it's still better than most seasons of any TV show out there. That's how good Game of Thrones is. I still watched season 8 and still had a blast with it. And I am going to be doing a review for that last episode because I reviewed every episode in it, but I forgot to review the last episode because I was so damn pissed off when that episode aired, and I was just perplexed and confused and what just happened. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but after giving it a second watch, I'm glad I did, because now I can go in with a fresh perspective. And I will tell you guys, I like it. I get it now. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I do like how it ended after rewatching all of it. I still think they could have added a couple more episodes in there for sure in season 8. But having said that, I like how it ended. It was logical. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. Okay. So anyway, guys, I'm going to hang it up for you guys tonight. It's always so hard to say goodbye to you guys. Parting is such sweet sorrow, but I had such a blast with you guys tonight. Thank you so much for hanging with me. I already can't wait until next Thursday. And in the comments of this, I'll tell you what, in the comments of this particular video, after we get off of here, throw me some ideas that you'd like for me to discuss in next week's stream. So, next Thursdays. Topics that you might like me to discuss. Anything. I'd like to give you guys a little bit of the power in these things, okay? So, that's your homework assignment. After this, go in the comments, post what you'd like me to talk about, okay? And guys, stay safe out there, all right? Take care of each other. Some of the bigger cities, it's getting pretty crazy. It's getting pretty violent. If you steal a TV, you're not fighting racism, okay? Be careful. Be safe out there. Take care of one another. All right? Love you guys. All right, so I'm hanging it up for the night. And you guys stay safe.